Hey, is anybody happy to be in church today? Come on. I don't know about you, but I look forward to Sundays. Sundays are my favorite day of the week for many reasons, but one of them are I get to see all of you. Wow, what an amazing summer crowd. Come on, give yourselves a hand. Yeah. There's a lot of things that you could be doing today, though they're probably not going to be outside unless they're in the pool, because Pastor Philip said like 107. I'm going to exaggerate maybe by 1 or 2 degrees and say 170. What is happening around here? It is bananas. It is so hot, but we're glad you're in church. What an honor it is to see you. We don't take it lightly that you would make it a priority to be in the house of the Lord. And we just believe, and I say this just about every time that I have a microphone, we just believe that you will never regret showing up, coming to the house of the Lord. If you've got children, I know it's a hassle. It's crazy to get them dressed. I know this may be some of your only day off, but I'm telling you, I've just found in my 39 years that Pastor says this all the time, and I love this, but I had a drug problem as a kid too. My parents drugged me to church on Sunday, drugged me to church on Wednesday. But guess what? I don't regret it for one moment. I am so grateful that my parents brought me to the house of the Lord. And when I was old enough to make that decision on my own, the love for his house was there because it was something that they put in me. And so I honor every mom and dad in this room or every grandparent in this room that set that for your children, and every parent that is doing that for your kids right now. Kudos to you. You will not regret it. But vacation season is among us. In fact, there's some people right now that are watching us online, and you probably at the beach. Probably not. You're probably in the Colorado area, escaping the 170 degree temperatures. But here's what I know. If you're not already on vacation, you about to go on vacation. That's what I know about you, because it's summertime. Now, it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. It doesn't have to be anything that breaks the bank, but this is the time of year when people make plans, and you've already made plans, especially if you're making like a big trip, you've already made plans and you've prepared for the summer, because this is the time where we take road trips. This is the time where we pile the family, in the RV and just go wherever you're going. I don't know, y'all, I tried to take a trip in an RV one time. I don't even know why I'm telling you all this. In fact, I'm not going to tell it all. I'm just going to tell you that it didn't end well. I took the RV back. We were sleeping in the middle of the night, and for some reason, one of the beds in the RV had an air mattress. Cassidy and I are sleeping in the middle of the night. The air mattress is flat. I'm like, oh, what in the world is happening? So I took that baby back. I'm not going to no RV. Take me to a Holiday Inn Express or something. But you travel. This is the time to travel. And what I want to do today is I want to help you make the most of the time that you have with the people that you're traveling. I want you to make some unbelievable memories as you travel the roads this summer, as you go on road trips, as you jump on airplanes and fly to your destination. And yes, I want all of that for you. I want you to have an amazing summer. But I think my main intent today is to give you some wisdom for the road trip of life, the journey that we are all on, the highways and the byways of life, the things that we deal with on this journey. And here's what I know about all of us is that we all have the same desire. Wherever we're going, we want to get to that destination, and we want to get there safely, and we want to make the most of our time that we have there. And so as you're planning to hit the roads, to head to the beach, or to head to Colorado, let me give you some wisdom for your summer trips. Let me give you some wisdom for the road this summer. Let's become summer wise, if you will. And so here's the first thing that I want to share with you as you prepare to take your families out of town for a day or two or a week, whatever that looks like for you. And it's this: don't travel alone. Amen. Don't travel. Some of you are like, we got to go with people? That's the reason I'm taking a vacation, is to get rid of all the crazy people I work with. I want to go. I got to get out of town. Don't travel alone. Here's what I mean by that for us in a church context, in our Christian walk, is that you can't allow yourself to get isolated during certain seasons of your life. In a culture where the internet is at your fingertips, and your cell phone and video games and Netflix and YouTube, you can spend hours on a device, and I don't care what age you are. This is from 5 to 95. You can spend hours on a device and look back and say, oh my goodness, I didn't even realize how much time has passed. And before you know it, and this is over a period of time, obviously, but the relationships that you once had, you now don't know that person as well as you used to, but my goodness, you've watched every show on Netflix. I mean, you know every new show, and you're frustrated that they ain't come out with new content yet. But it's easy to become isolated. But here's what I know about isolation, is that isolation leads to a season of desolation. If you find yourself where you are completely isolated, you don't want to be around people, you don't need to be around people, you say, I'm telling you, that is a red flag for some serious seasons that are coming in your world, and you need to take notice. And it's because you and I were designed to operate in community. We need people around us. But not just any people. We need the right people. You need to do life and spend time with the right people. Maybe you've noticed this, especially if you've just had accepted a new job, or maybe you've just moved to a different city or state, or kids started a new school, that in certain seasons of life, we tend to gravitate towards acceptance. It's human nature. It's funny how it works, truthfully. But this idea of being accepted is a very dangerous trap that I want to dive into for just a moment. And it feels good when you're in a new environment to just, oh, they want to be around me? Oh, they're inviting me? Oh, sure, absolutely. Yeah, it feels so good to be wanted and to be loved. And before you know it, you're a year down the road and you've done life with people that you have nothing in common with, but they accepted you the moment that you came in, and you're like, oh, here we go. This is great. You don't know much about them. You don't know if you're like, you know what it would be like? Let me use this illustration. It would be like you guys, your family, jumping in the car, headed to wherever your destination is for your summer road trip. You're driving down the road. You get an hour outside of Austin on I-35, and you see a person walking down the street, and they've got their thumb out, waving. And you know what you do? You lean over to your spouse and you say, hey, sweetheart, they want to be with us. They don't even know us, but you know what? That's the universal sign for let me into your vehicle. They wouldn't do that for anybody else, just us. They want to get to know us. They want to come in our car and sit next to our children. Can you? This is so sweet. I think we should pull over and let them in. You, sir, need prayer. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. But we don't do that. You don't live life based upon acceptance. That would be crazy for you to open the back door and say, hey, yeah, sit right next to my son right there. My dog. Yeah, let's talk. What's going on? No. Just because they want to be in your car doesn't mean that you allow them into your life. But we do this all the time. We gravitate towards groups and people because they accept us and we don't know anything about them. We have no clue what their intentions are for our life or for our world. We have no clue if they want something from us that we don't even know about. But it's because of this idea of being accepted that will do just about anything. And it's why the people that you travel with along this road called life cannot be based upon acceptance, but it has to be based upon values. Values. If you're gonna travel with people, which we are designed to do, you gotta travel with people where your values align. And I'm not saying they have to think like you. I'm not saying they have to wear the same perfume as you and get the same thing at the restaurant. Like you're walking into Starbucks and you hear somebody order a venti pumpkin latte with 8 shots, 7 pumps of pumpkin sauce, light foam with whip, extra hot. And you're like, oh, that's my order too. We have to be friends for life. No, that's not what I'm talking about. That's great and that's cool. And it's probably weird if they order that. But they have to share the things at your core that are important to you. And that's what a value is. It's what you have predetermined that is most important in your life. And the people that you run with, the people in your circle need to share very similar values. Embracing your values, surrounding people that share your values is vital to your health. In fact, Proverbs chapter 13, verse 20 says it this way: walk with the wise and become wise. Isn't that amazing? Like if you're in the room and you would say, I'm not a wise person, do you want to become wise? Find somebody that is wise and start walking through life with them. It says, walk with the wise and become wise. What is wisdom? In our context today, wisdom is understanding that life is connected, that the decisions that you're making today are impacting the direction of your life tomorrow. This is what wisdom is. And so the author of Proverbs is telling us that who you travel through life with and who you do life with matters more than you can begin to imagine. I've got to be disciplined in this season because I know what I want in the next season. Doesn't stop there. Verse 13 continues. There's a flip side to this. It says, a companion of fools, though, suffers harm. So I do have a bit of good news. You walk with the wise. You just walk with the wise and you become wise. Now here's the good news about spending time with foolish people, is that just by walking with foolish people, the scripture's not telling us that you will automatically become foolish just by walking with foolish people. That's not what it's telling us. No, it says that you will suffer harm. Here's what it means. You'll be driving down the highway of life, spending time with foolish people, and you're gonna have that check engine light come on about every 3 miles. You're gonna have blowouts. Why is my life breaking down? Why am I having to deal with so much frustration and hurt and angst? It's because you're spending time with foolish people, and there are always consequences. There's always consequences. So the bottom line is this: don't travel alone. Travel with people who share your values, and don't pick up hitchhikers. As you hit the roads for your road trips and for your trips out of town that you're jumping to the airport for, here's the second thing that I think most of us have to do. And if you're going on any trip, chances are you've already done this. You got to choose a destination. My guess is, for most of you, you don't just get in the car and say, hey, we're gonna go and just figure it. If you have kids, you sure don't do that. You know where you're stopping, because 37 minutes into the trip, this one's gonna start screaming. 10 minutes later, you know this one's gonna just be so hungry, though you ate 15 minutes ago, so you're gonna have to find the nearest McDonald's, because it's a Sunday and Jesus Chicken Chick-fil-A is closed. You can't eat there. So you got it all figured out. You have to choose a destination. And for our context today, when I'm talking about choosing a destination, I'm meaning this, is that every single one of us will end up somewhere in life. We're headed somewhere in life. Your life is headed in a certain direction, whether you're intentional about it or not. And for those of us that are followers of Jesus, the goal and the win for you and I is to wind up in heaven on purpose, right? That's where our ultimate goal is. But just as they're, on a long road trip, there's different legs to the journey. Day one, we stopped and we went here and it was so much fun. And it's on Instagram and you can show everybody. On Twitter, on Facebook, for those of you over 40, whatever. I mean, it's just, I love you, I'm messing with you. But there's different legs to the journey, multiple legs on a road trip, and there's different seasons in our lives as well. And I know I'm generalizing here, but there's the season of childhood. There's a teenage season, a high school season, a college season, a young adult season, a newly married season, a kid's season, an empty nest season, a grandparent's season. And it's so important in each one of these seasons to determine your destination for that season. So we have this ultimate goal as followers of Jesus to end up in heaven with him one day. That is the ultimate goal. But what I'm proposing to you today is this idea of the seasons that you are in right now, that each season needs a destination, because as you know, life is taking you somewhere, whether you want it to or not. Life is moving, and if we don't choose what we want for this season and how we're gonna get where God is calling us to, then circumstances and people and life in general will choose for you. And you'll end up 5 years down the road, coming out of a certain season, looking back and say, wow, I left so much on the table. There was so much I wanted to do in that season, but life just happened. It's because you weren't intentional in that season. I'm reading a book right now and just about the idea of what makes groups and certain individuals extremely talented, and like how they just operate at such a high level. And one of the illustrations they were using is about one of the most prestigious music academies in the world. Obviously, you're invited to be a part. It's very exclusive for just brilliant, people that are brilliant. But here's the beauty of it. This is crazy. It blew my mind when I heard this. They're diving into this idea. It's called chunking. So when a student is learning to learn a song or whatever on the instrument that they're learning, they don't just play through the whole song. In fact, the instructor will actually tell them, if I come by your practice space and I can recognize the song that you're playing, you're doing it wrong. He tells them, I want you to break it down note by note to where you master the first note, and you don't move to the next note until you master this. And they said, this is one of the things that make just unbelievably successful people so successful, is the way that they train. And they take these seasons that they're in, and they know what they're trying to accomplish in this season. And I wonder what it would look like if you, in your grandparenting season, would say, hey, sweetheart, what do we want out of this season? I realize our grandkids are growing quickly, and this is moving. I can't even believe we're grandparents. This is moving faster than what we thought, and now we're 5 years away, and he's about to be out of high school. Like, what do we want in this season? How can we stay connected to our grandkids? What does that look like? I wonder if you took each season of your life and you said, hey, what do we want out of this season? What's our destination gonna be? And you start working towards it day by day. I have a feeling that at the end of that season, you're gonna look back with your arm around your spouse and say, honey, we got it right. I don't have any regrets of the season that we just lived, but we chose a destination and we moved towards it with everything that we have. And here's what I want you to understand is that every season is connected. Life is connected. This season leads to the next season. And if I don't set the correct destination for this season, I won't be as well prepared for the next one. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but wishing won't get you there. Well, someday, I'm gonna meet someone. Oh, cool. Someday I want to be happily married. Someday I want to have kids. I can tell you for sure, wishing won't get you there. Someday I want to be financially successful. Someday I want to go to graduate school. Someday. And it's true if you're driving in a car on a road trip or traveling by plane to your destination, you got to hear this today. Direction, not intention, determines your destination. Direction, not intention, determines your destination. Let me make really, really clear sense for you here. You may be gearing up for just an amazing road trip. You're going to Cancun and you're driving. Come on, sweetheart, jump in the car. You got your best bathing suit on, you're ready to go. Y'all went to Target and you got sunscreen, you got new beach towels, you've got dreams of laying on the beach with sand in your toes, watching the waves roll in. Just a few hours away, baby, let's go. Oh, you got the music, you got the Beach Boys playing in the car. Y'all don't even know who that is. And you get in your car and you jump on I-35 and you go north. You can be in that brand new swimsuit, already lathered up with sunscreen, with your sandals on. But if you go north on I-35, you're gonna land in snow-ridden Duluth, Minnesota, where you need a parka instead of a bathing suit. Because direction, not intention, determines where you're going. And let me step on some toes. You can pray about it. You can talk to God about it. You can sit back and have quiet time about it. You can fast about it. But if you baby, we're gonna go to Cancun. Lord, help us get there. And you get on I-35 and go north, you're still gonna end up in Duluth, Minnesota. God has given you wisdom. I think sometimes God says, listen, I have already put it in you to make it. Why are you waiting on me to say yes to something that you already have the answer to? Something that I've already given you the wisdom for. It's because we like the word intention. Well, one day I'm gonna do it. Yeah, one day. So cool. It's gonna be great one day. It's gonna be so good. We're gonna get there one day. One day. So decide now, decide today, the end of this season, so you can look back and say, I'm ready for everything that God has called me to. The third one that I want to share with you today is this: you got to pay attention to the signs. Pay attention to the signs. Road signs are there for our protection as well as our direction. But some of us think that those signs are for other people. No, speed limit sign, that ain't for me. That's for them. Watch out for the curve ahead. No, that's not for me. Only crazy people would obey the sign. Have you ever noticed that it's hard to see crazy in the mirror? It's tough sometimes to see crazy in the mirror. I can go through that intersection. It's yellow. Woo, let's go. Yeah, okay. Proverbs 22:3 says, the prudent are the wise, the people who know that life is connected. The prudent see the signs and they respond. They see danger, they see the signs and they take refuge. They respond to the signs. People that pay attention to the signs. What does that mean? Is that they're paying attention to what's going on in the lives of the people that they do life with. These people that share the same values. They're paying attention to what's happening in the lives of their kids and what's going on in their marriage and what's going on financially. Oh, we may not be in disaster zone yet, but there's a curve coming and we better pump the brakes a little bit or we're gonna end up in a place that we never intended to be. I'm gonna choose to not just live in la-la land. Amen. And pretend that if I don't deal with it, it's gonna go away. Right. Oh, it's gonna go. If we don't talk about it, sweetheart, this problem's going away. No! If you don't talk about it, the problem's gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger to where talking about it won't even solve the problem anymore. Come on, we can't go through life avoiding the signs. Your life will be so much easier if when you see the warning signs that you will take heed, that you will have a difficult conversation to obey the signs in front of you. The prudent see danger and take refuge. But the simple, the people who say, oh, I'm fine, I can do it on my own. I know what I'm doing, you're wrong. That sign is in the wrong spot. There's no curve there. Well, yeah, try it, see what happens. The people that don't understand that life is connected. The people that don't understand that my actions today leads to my tomorrow. Today is gonna show up in my tomorrow. The simple keep going and they pay the penalty. And here's the interesting thing, on the road of life, you got people in the car with you. You're not the only one that pays the price. Everybody that is along with you on the journey because you chose to ignore the signs, they have to pay the price too. There's people in your sphere of influence that are counting on you to obey the signs and to watch out for the signs so that you get it right so they don't have to pay the consequences as well. And here's the last and final thought that I want to share with you today. Pastor Phil, are you backstage? Hopefully. Yes, here he is. This is great. Maybe. Oh, here he comes. What in the world? Okay. Thank you, sir. Here's my fourth tip for you today. Don't overpack. Don't overpack. So, believe it or not, this was like not that well thought out. I just have to be really honest with you. Windsor, my son, is going to summer camp today. For those of you that were here about a year ago, I preached a message about my road rage incident that happened coming home from summer camp. So y'all pray for me. We're taking him today. Today is the 1-year anniversary. Lord, be with us, guide me. But we got him all packed up. Like, we're leaving from church to take him to this week-long camp. And Cassidy, this is not me. This is my amazing wife. So we've got some good stuff in here. We were told to bring all of his bedding in here. We did a little bit more than bedding. There's some packs of goldfish in here. There is a pack, oh yeah, a whole huge thing of Snickers. There's gotta be 20 Snicker bars in here. Love it. Oh, then there's some Skinny Pop to go along with the 12 boxes of Snickers, Twix. All of his bedding is in here. Let's see what else we got. This is good. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Y'all, you got to check this out. This is great. This is my wife. I love that y'all are getting an insight into my life and my wife. This is so good. She packed the only thing I did, I had to go buy extra socks last night. That's the only thing I did for him. Look, in Ziploc bags, labeled. There is a theme night one night. Thursday, in fact, is a theme night, and it is a camo theme night, hence the camo hat in here. Thank you. Yes, camo theme night. Well, those are underwear. We'll leave those there. I don't want to embarrass him. We got clothes. This is, extra. Extra, huh? Don't overpack. What else we get? I don't even know. What in the world? The kid's 11. This is a one-night trip. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. We've got, there's a flashlight. It works, yes, good. I really didn't know if I checked the battery before, so that was like a legit need for my son. Okay, what else? Oh, this is good. Make sure there's not too many underwear in here. Oh, this. A whole bottle of body wash. Windsor, you better shower at camp, son. Let's go. You got deodorant in here. We got toothpaste, bug spray, sunscreen. You would think he's moving out. What in the world's happening? Don't overpack. Have you ever seen those people at the airport that get all their luggage off the terminal thing there, the little spinny baggage thingy? And they put 9,000 bags on one push cart. You know what I'm talking? They're holding, their legs are trying to hold on. Their kids are sitting on top of it. Suitcases are falling off. It's like, dude, $2 more. And you could have had another one. That's it. I will loan you $2. I'll give you $2 just to help you get through the airport. But here's what I know about people that overpack, is that it always costs you more. It always costs you more to overpack, especially if you're taking an airline. They're gonna hit you with multiple $40 baggage fees. Sure, it costs more money, but for you and I, in the road of life that we are walking, it doesn't just cost you a $40 baggage fee, but it will cost you your joy. It'll cost you your peace. It'll cost you relationships. When you overpack, unnecessary baggage. Listen, I'm wrapping up quickly. Unnecessary baggage will slow you down. It will slow you down. You'll be trying to go through life. God's got so many amazing things in store for you. And you're walking through everything that he's got for you, and you're just trying to get there. You're like, oh, I'm coming, I'm right there. I'm heading that direction, and it sounds great, and you may eventually get there. You might get there one day, but guess what? God, can I tell you, he's got better things in store for you sooner rather than later. And sometimes the reason we don't experience everything that he has for us is because we're carrying so much back. He said, I intended for you to get where I wanted you to go 10 years ago if you would just lay down some of the stuff that you're carrying. And we get frustrated and we blame God. Why aren't these things coming to pass? And I think God might be looking down saying, hey, why don't you sit down some of the things that you've been carrying, and you'll get where I've got designed for you so much quicker. Baggage is the unresolved or partially resolved stuff from your past. Keeps you from being present in your future. It keeps you from being the person that God is calling you to be. It's always in the back of your mind that you haven't fully dealt with it. It empowers the past to detour you from your destination of choice. If it's weighing you down, lay it down. I read this quote recently. It said this, that if you don't deal with your demons, they will go into the cellar of your soul and they will lift weights, and they'll get bigger and stronger and bigger and stronger. So I wonder today what it looks like in your life. I don't know. Maybe an empty water bottle is necessary, but maybe it's not. Maybe you don't need the extra bags of clothes. What is it that you've been holding on to? It's different. It's different for all of us. I got my stuff. You got yours. But I wonder today if you might be willing to identify what it is, to put a finger on it and say, you know what, this is what it is. And then maybe make the choice to lay it down. And for some of you, it could be an immediate thing. But for some of you, maybe it's the start of a long process. Maybe you need to have a conversation with a family member or a conversation with the spouse that can't happen in a moment like this, but you can begin to start charting your course and setting out for this season what it's gonna look like. And not just someday, not just someday in the future. Not just, oh man, maybe I wish, I want to. No. Action. Moving in that direction is what's gonna set the course for your life. And I wonder what it is for you today. Would you stand with me all across this room? Because we're all going somewhere. And I think you're gonna find that if you will lay down what's been weighing you down, that you're gonna be a happier person, You're gonna have more joy. You're gonna have more peace, the joy and the peace that you felt like you should have your whole life, that you feel that confirmation from the Lord, that you know you're supposed to move somewhere or move in a direction, but you just can't ever seem to get there. For some of us, it's because we've overpacked. But today can be the day that you evaluate what's in your suitcase. Because here's what happens when you overpack. As packed as this trunk is, overpacking is like giving the enemy a foothold into your life. When you're holding on to resentment and bitterness and frustration and hurt, it's giving him a toehold. It's giving him a place in your heart where he can just hold on. And he can't, you think you're so close to closing the door, but his foot is right there in the door where you can't quite get it closed because you won't deal with unresolved hurt and pain and frustration, and you're carrying some extra baggage today. I wonder what it would look like if you told the enemy of your soul, the gym's closed. You're not gonna come into my soul anymore and lift any more weights and get bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm kicking you out today. You have no hold on my life. I am a follower of Christ. You have no authority over me. I've given you a foothold for too long. I've given you a place to hold on. Today is the day that you leave. Today is the day that I start the process of healing and moving in the direction that God has in mind for me. So I'm gonna pray for you, and if that's you, I wonder if you would begin to identify those areas of the things that you need to lay down, that you need to unpack. Maybe it's been packed for a long time, some things that you need to dig through the attic of your heart, things that you forgot were there until we started talking about it today, and you're like, oh my goodness, that again. And if you've never made Jesus Christ the Lord of your life, can I tell you that's the first step? You looking for joy? It's gonna be found in Jesus. It's not found in a person, and as much as I love this church, it's not simply found in a church, it's found in Jesus Christ. You're looking for peace, it starts with him. Everything flows from him. So as I pray for you today, maybe you need to pray that prayer that says, Lord, I wanna make you the Lord of my life. I lay down everything that I've been holding on to, trying to lead my life my own way, but today I want you to take control. Search my heart, God, know me. I commit to following you with everything that I have, and I want everything that you have for me. And if you've already prayed that prayer and he is already the Lord of your life, maybe it's identifying those areas today. And I believe in this moment, God's gonna give you wisdom to navigate those seasons properly so that you can move to the end of that season saying, wow, I didn't leave anything on the table. We got it right. And we can move into the next season of our life free and ready for everything that God has in store for us. So let's pray together. Lord, I love you today. What an honor it is to preach your word to such an amazing group of people that are in the house and those that are watching online. And Lord, I know today that there's many of us in the room who feel this pull, and we know that you've got big things and great things and amazing things in store for us, but Lord, they at times feel elusive, like we just can't ever get there. And I know there's a lot of things that can contribute to that, but today, Lord, I have a feeling that there's some in the room that have overpacked, that they've just piled in junk after junk after junk, and they haven't been willing to go through and to have some moments where they say, you know what, this can't stay in my life anymore. But today, Lord, you're bringing things to our heart. You're bringing things to our mind that we're understanding are having a bigger impact on our life than we ever thought. And God, I pray today for the courage to have those conversations. Whatever it is, if it's a hard conversation that we've been sweeping under the rug, Lord, give us the wisdom to navigate that season of life the way that you would want us to do that, Lord. If it's past hurt today, God, we start the process of healing. We turn our life over to you. You are the Lord of our life. Do in us whatever you want, Lord. We trust you and we need you. And Lord, I thank you for what you're gonna do in the lives of these people today. Be with us as we're on this journey, this road of life. We need you. We can't make it without you. For it's in Jesus' name I pray. And everybody said amen. Amen. Can you put your hands together for the Lord today? Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. All right, so here's your homework. If you haven't identified those areas, take some time this week and think about the areas that you need to unpack and leave behind. And if you have, start the process. Make a decision to unpack those every single day. God bless you. Have a great rest of your Sunday.